Today I'm going to do the first CSS quiz. You can find this at my courses, Learn CSS. I'm at the Syntax and Selectors module. So question number 1. The following HTML code attempts to use inline styling to change the color of the paragraph text, but fail to do so. Why? So here they try to write inline styles, which would look like this. Paragraph, style, color red. And here, as you can see, they did not add style. So this attribute is invalid. Correct. The style attribute is used to add inline styles to HTML elements. So there are two different ways you can add styles in HTML elements. You can use this syntax or this syntax. Opening and closing style tag. Next question. What is the most specific selector in the code below? This is the least specific, where you just select the elements like paragraph. This is a little bit more specific because you use the dot to select a class. And this is the most specific because it's using hashtag. So that means it's selecting an ID. And the ID would be the most specific option here. Correct ID selectors with hashtag are more specific than any selector only using element type and or class selectors. What is the correct syntax to select an element inside another element? The correct syntax would be this option because you're first selecting class with a dot and then just calling out the list in this case. Using a space between selectors selects elements of the second selector nested inside the first one. What is the purpose of the HTML link tag when it comes to styling a page? So we use a link tag to link a specific style sheet file to an HTML file so that the styles get applied on the page. Link tag is used to connect style sheets to HTML files. What is the correct syntax to style multiple unrelated selectors? They're not nested. You need to separate them by using a comma. Using a comma allows you to apply a style rule set to multiple selectors. The following code attempts to style a paragraph using the style tag, but fails to do so. Why? Here they're using the style tag, opening and closing style tag, and inline style. So this would be the answer. The content of the style tag must be CSS node, not HTML code. The P will not appear at all. What is the main difference between inline styles and the style tag? So the inline styles directly modify individual HTML elements using a style attribute, whereas the style tag allows you to write CSS in a dedicated section of an HTML file. Which of the following best describe the concept of CSS selector specificity? Specificity refers to how a browser decides which styles to display when there are multiple styles defined that could apply to the same element. Which of the following statement is correct? IDs are more specific than classes and tags. And yes, IDs are the most specific element. IDs are the most specific because they should only be used on a single element. Complete the code below to link a CSS file called main.css to an HTML file. Okay, so it's a link, so href. The file is called main.css, and it's a style sheet. What does style HTML tag allow? Writing one or more CSS rules in CSS syntax inside an HTML file. Code inside style tags is written in CSS syntax and can include many selectors and rule sets. Separating HTML and CSS into their own files help accomplish which of the following? So the correct one is separating HTML structure from CSS style makes the code in both languages easier to read and maintain.